Hello and bienvenido a another video, everybody. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. I post super amazing content. I might be one of the top 10,000 Minecraft players in the state of Idaho. So go ahead and subscribe. It really helps me out. With that said, let's get right into what I've got planned for today. So I started out doing exactly what I said I was going to do at the end of our last episode. I've got my main island over there on the coast with our Fletcher Dome, a working lighthouse, all that exciting stuff. If you guys want to go watch my previous videos, go find them, I guess. But you could just stay here and watch this one. I've got some really exciting stuff to build, including my highest build I've ever done in any world ever. But before I get to any of that, of course, I had to prepare for such builds. And so I decided that this island would look the best because it's a decent size. I did have to spend several hours clearing out all of this dirt as well as placing a ton of dirt to make it flat. But in no time at all, I got to my build. This is after I built that giant build. I lost all of my footage for the biggest build I've ever done. Not like the biggest as in terms of like time. I already had most of the materials I needed to do it, but it's loading in right now. This is my take on the Tower of Babel. Goes all the way up to Y level 317. Super big. But like I said, it didn't take super long because I already had most of that stone. I had to go mining for stone a couple of times, but it's just stone. It doesn't take that long. And then once I had that done, my next idea was to build the Clash Royale arena. So for those of you who don't know, I just reached 9,000 trophies in Clash Royale. I stream Clash Royale on TikTok. I'm by no means a pro, but I'm above average at least. So I decided why not celebrate becoming #1 in the world as far as trophies and build the arena in Minecraft. Once again, this is a pretty simple build. Nothing too hard. I mean, all of the materials, it's just like wood, stone, a shovel. That's basically all I needed for this until I get to a few of the decorations later on. The biggest thing I had to worry about while making this build was just the positioning of everything. There were so many times where I had to move the grid that I was working on. Also, if you go to make banners, if you want colored banners, you cannot dye white banners into other banners. You have to make them like blue or red banners from the very beginning. I didn't know that, so I probably wasted about 20 minutes or so. Nothing too much, just one whole day of Minecraft. And then once I figured out that I have to get colored banners from the very beginning, I started bone milling the ground to get red and yellow flowers. I was pretty lucky that red and yellow flowers are just what happens to spawn, because red and yellow flowers are what I need to finish the Red King's tower, or the Red King side of the arena. Eventually I figured that it would be way quicker to just go to the flower field that I had come to in one of my earlier episodes. It's only like 200, maybe 300 blocks from my base. So I just came over here, got the rest of the yellow flowers I needed. I really didn't need any red flowers because I could just bone mill bushes. Once the arena was done, as you saw right there, I lit it up with some torches, went around adding the last few banners that I needed. And so far, I thought it was looking pretty good. I think I might add armor stands into the towers later on. The biggest problem with that is I could put armor stands in the two princess towers, but the king tower is a 2x2. And so if you only had one guy up there, it might look a little weird. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave the two princess towers empty, or put two people in the two armor stands in the princess towers, but then put myself in the king tower. To finish it all off, I just put these kind of like logs coming up on the edges of the walls. This helped the arena get that effect of like the log walls, but by leaving it only too high in some places, it still allowed me to jump over the walls with the beacon effects. And yeah, there it is. I'll tower onto my Tower of Babel real quick. And there is the Clash Royale arena. I end up moving the walls a little bit after that, but overall it's pretty much done. After that, I went and I got a netherite hoe. It was really just a matter of time before I got this. This was my first piece of netherite anything. I did a little bit of grinding in the nether to go find the... I don't really know what they're called, but they like allow you to upgrade things from diamonds to nether. Or not nether. What are they called? Well, whatever I was upgrading them to, I got the diamonds upgrade to the next level of what gives them more durability. Right there, I was building a creeper farm Unfortunately, the creeper farm did not really work unless I'm like 120 blocks in the air, so I gave up on it and decided to prepare to go back to the end. The reason I need to go to the end is because if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I lost my elytra. And so I wanted to go and find an elytra. I didn't just want to find one elytra, though. I want to find one elytra and then use that elytra to fly around and find a few more so that I would never have to go without elytra again. Because having elytra in this game allows me to go way further, way faster, and I am going to need to be exploring a lot of this world to finish the projects that I have planned by the end of the 666 days. Luckily, I only had to travel probably about like 1,000 blocks in total, which on the one hand, it's a lot, but I also probably traveled like upwards of 10, 20,000, and I didn't find a single elytra when I was originally looking for them. So I got way luckier. After I got my elytra, I got a few more things. That Smite 5 diamond sword would actually come in handy a lot in the future. And then I started flying around. I didn't have the footage of me originally exploring. I explored for probably about 2 hours before I came across this jungle. So the idea of this video is I want to get every single mob in Minecraft into a zoo. When I say every single mob, I mean mostly just like mobs you would see in a zoo. So I won't put villagers in the zoo. I don't think I'm going to put like skeletons and creepers and zombies. Those aren't really animals. But like a spider, on the other hand, even though it is hostile, it is an animal. So I won't have every single animal. Obviously, ghast is going to be way too hard to trap at the level I'm at. As well as, like, I don't even know if it's possible to get an ender dragon into the zoo. But I started preparing nether highways to get to where I would need to go. So I would just fly until I found a biome with the animals I wanted. The pandas were the first ones I transported back home other than the birds. The birds just kind of followed me around for a while. And I'm super glad that I did the pandas first because these fatzos are so slow. Like, oh my goodness, this was so annoying. I could not get these guys to follow me if their life depended on it. And several times, ghast were throwing fireballs at us and their lives did depend on it. But seriously, I'm just so glad that these guys are the first ones I did. Because if I had come back and tried to transport these guys at the end, after I had the luxury of transporting all the other animals, it would have felt even slower. It was just insane. After I got the pandas, I returned to the forest, or the jungle, to find an ocelot. It was super hard to find these. I know I saw one at one point, but after flying around for a second, when I came back, I couldn't find it anymore. I would get rid of this bamboo to try to help myself know where I was in the jungle, but I could just not keep track. Eventually, I did find an ocelot. However, this would be the only ocelot we find by the end of this video. They're just so hard to find for whatever reason. And if we want to get to all the animals we want, then we're going to have to act quick. As you can see on my screen right there, I did build a map. The map was another thing that I would have shown, but the file that was recording me do that got corrupted. At some point, I also found some of these music discs. I don't really like this song very much. I don't have anything against it, but this song is just like such a vibe. It's so jazzy. I don't even know. I won't play this entire song. I just wanted you guys to listen to it because I listened to this song like at least 17 times by the end of this 666 days. Like, original Minecraft music is good, just the world music, but every once in a while I'd just come in here and put that CD in, and it was so satisfying. It's just such a good song. If you guys remember in my last video, I said we'd be turning this lake into something. I decided that I wanted to make it the middle of my zoo, and this would be where we put all of the aquarium animals. I also was thinking about doing like a hexagonal zoo because I've seen other Minecraft YouTubers do like hexagons connected to each other, but I didn't just want to copy everyone else, and so I decided I'll make a bunch of triangle cages and put all the animals in triangle cages. But then when I was putting the roof on top of the aquarium, I realized I can just make the YouTube logo out of that. And so I went and I started collecting sand so that I could make red concrete, as well as get more glass so that I could make this aquarium into the YouTube logo. I don't know if that makes much sense right now. I'll just let you guys enjoy me digging sand with an efficiency 5 shovel for a minute. This has got to be one of the most satisfying things in the game. Anyways, quick side note, if you have an efficiency 4 shovel, it does the exact same as an efficiency 5. Like, there's no reason to have an efficiency 5 shovel other than to say you have it, but an efficiency 4 shovel will do the exact same interaction with every block that you can dig as an efficiency 5 shovel will. My idea for the YouTube aquarium is to kind of make like a amphitheater, if that makes sense. And so I'm going to make like red stairs coming up from the red triangle. There you can see it on the map. I think it's going to look really good in the end. Of course, I'm speaking at the end of this video, so I already know it's going to look really good. But even at this point in the recording process, I was pretty confident that this was going to look really good in the end. So it's going to be like stairs coming up out of the aquarium, and the stairs will go down far enough that it's like under the water a little bit. That's on the other side of the glass. So you'll be able to see underneath the water and look at animals, as well as above the water for like dolphins jumping, or maybe I'll put island in there for turtles. I took a while to just AFK here. I went to sleep one night so that I could get tons of fireworks. To be honest, I did not get as much as I wanted. Or not as much as I wanted. I didn't get as much as I expected, but more than I wanted. Like, this would power me for the next at least 1,000 days. So this was plenty of gunpowder to last me. That alone takes out like 20 days out of this. We're doing, I think, like 166 days in total this video. So it's only like a 150-day video, but still, it's going to be a lot to cover. So let's keep going. I got a fox after roaming the forest forever. I also put all of my new nether highways at X and Y equals 0. So basically I could just get the animals up to this level and then just run them home. Also, you might have seen right there that I got the Stone Age advancement. I don't know why my game was all of a sudden giving me more advancements. Sometimes at the end of videos, I'll go and I'll like switch to creative mode or spectator mode to show everybody my creations. Or sometimes I'll just like make a backup world. But as you can see right here, like my computer is just so laggy. And so I'm guessing that's all that happened, is it's just the game lagging out. But I honestly have no idea why it was giving me achievements all of a sudden. Now, you technically could count this as cheating because it will give me experience every time I complete a task, but it's not enough experience for me to really care, so let's just keep going. I decided to explore underneath this giant mountain while searching for polar bears. And I know that this part of the video is super dark, so I'll just kind of tell you guys what happens. I dug like one random block into the side of the mountain. I found 4 diamonds, which was pretty lucky. Then I accidentally spawned the warden. I've never done anything at all with the warden. From my understanding, he can one-shot you, and I know for a fact he can definitely two-shot you. And so after spawning him, I just blocked that off and I returned home. On my way home, I found a Arctic fox, which was super lucky. I'm surprised I even saw it in the snow. It blends in super well. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and then when I went back to look for it, like I couldn't find it. But luckily I can breed these two, and they can both give me brown foxes and white foxes. After the foxes, I went to find the horses. This horse was super nice. He was super fast. Gotta love this horse. The next horse, however, he was not fast at all. He was very slow. This guy was a pain to get back home. But I wanted to get 2 of every animal. Originally, when I was creating this video, I thought, like, maybe I'm going to do some builds based off the Bible stories. So that's why I did the Tower of Babel that, like, goes up to max height. And then my next idea was to do Noah's Ark. So I would build a giant boat to put all of these animals in. But I knew that if I tried to build that boat, it would just look absolutely terrible. And so rather than put them in the boat, I was going to put them in, wait for it, ZooTube. Also, as you know, I don't script these videos, but while planning this video, I actually did think of a funny joke. So while we wait for these sniffers to hatch, let me tell it. So back there, the lead on my bee broke, and I didn't have another lead, so I had to just leave him be. It wasn't that funny, but I thought of it while I was preparing this video, so I had to share it. It's not like I have anything else to say while we wait for these guys. These are the first sniffers I've ever had in a Minecraft world. Honestly, not sure how to feel about them. They're kind of a weird mob. I also thought I'd show this part. I did this a ton. I needed so much red concrete, and Every time I needed red concrete, you have to turn red concrete powder into red concrete by placing it in water. This didn't take super long, but I mean, I probably did this for over an hour or two in total. I also made sure to round off the edges of ZooTube just to make sure that I got kind of the right effect, make it look like the actual YouTube logo. I also started a raid. What's weird about this is I had started several raids before this, and then they just ended. Like, I never killed anyone, no one ever came to the village. But right there, I got a raid, and I got a Totem of Undying, which I hadn't had in a long time. However, because I had a map in my inventory, every time I'd look at the map, if I was holding a Totem of Undying in my hand, then the map wouldn't show up as big as it would if it was out of my hand. So I didn't even put the Totem of Undying in my hand, and I just continued working like I was working anyways. Ever since this world turned from a hardcore world into just a normal survival, dying has become a lot less of a pain. Like, there's only one death in this that I care a ton about. Then after this, it was just a matter of getting all the animals back to their cages. Of course, this part was the worst. The pandas, they are so slow. Also, the pandas can't be put on leads. There's a few animals that can't be put on leads, and so I put them in cages rather than on leads. While trying to get this Zoglin into a cage, Phantom accidentally flew in there. I decided I would just keep the Phantom. Unfortunately, by the next day, the Phantom had disappeared. I think I have to put a name tag on him for him to stay. So the name I'm thinking of is Menace, like the Phantom Menace. I don't even know if you can put a name tag on a Phantom, but if you can, I will definitely be naming a Phantom Menace in one of my future videos and putting him into the zoo. I also had a spider named Peter. Now, you can't put a name tag, you can put a name tag on a spider, but you can't put a lead on a spider, and so I had to make tunnels to get this guy to where he needed to be. Basically, all I would do is I would trap Peter in one kind of cage to begin with, then I'd make a tunnel, let him crawl to the end of that tunnel. Then when he was at the end of the tunnel, I would destroy the tunnel that was before that tunnel, move it to the end. Unfortunately, while doing this, my computer is super slow. I ended up getting blown up by a creeper, except I blew up by the creeper before the explosion even happened. It's just proof of how bad my computer is. Not the end of the world, though. I lost like 41 levels from it, but that's the only thing I really lost, so not the end of the world. I had to go back to the Nether to get a Strider. I had two earlier, but they both died. And the last mob that I got into my zoo was bunnies. These are super easy to find, but they were the last mob I decided to get into the zoo because they suck to transport. The only mobs that are more of a pain to transport than the bunnies are the pandas. The bunnies, sometimes they can jump up a block, sometimes they struggle, so I'd bring stairs. But like right there, you saw the bunnies could barely jump up a block, and then that bunny right there, he jumps like 9 blocks. So I have no idea why they are such a pain to transport. But eventually, with enough sheer power, I got them home. I only ended up with 2 of them by the end of my journey. One of them died. They just straight up jumped off a cliff. The other one of them I left behind. He's still alive, but I had to leave him just in case one of these guys died once we were trying to get through the portal. And I'm actually super glad that I did this, because while going through the portal, that's literally what happened. At least I think. I never found the body of the bunny, but one of the bunnies just disappeared by the time I got to the other side of the portal. So eventually I'll go back for the bunny that I left in the Nether, but for now, one bunny is going to have to do it. We only have one ocelot anyways. At this point in the video, I'm at 650 days. Originally, I was planning on this video being 750 days in Minecraft, but when I got to the end of 750 days, I realized I was only at 650 days, and so the last 2 weeks of this world are just kind of me like fixing last-second projects that I didn't ever get to before. Here's a quick time lapse of me waiting for lava to come down from the top of the world down to Y level 67. And then there's also a part where I go to the Nether and start clearing out a space for my next build in my next video, but I won't show that because that'll be a part of the next video. I won't tell you what's happening in the next video. All I'm going to say right now is Lightning McQueen. Okay, Lightning McQueen may or may not be making it into my next video. So if you want to see that happen, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on these videos. And with that said, never mind. We're going to wait for me to place one more bucket of lava. And now, with that said, here we are at the end of 666 days. Here's what we've accomplished in this world. We started off by making ZooTube. That's not true. We ended off making ZooTube. I'm really happy with how this looks. I think I'm going to extend the left side out a little more at some point. I probably won't record it. That won't be in my next video. But at some point, I'm going to extend it. We got armadillos, we got foxes, we got mushrooms, we got goats, we got mules, donkeys, horses, skeleton horses, parrots, even though this is definitely not a parrot. We got sniffers, still not sure how to feel about those guys. We got pigs, chickens, snow golems, which I wasn't originally going to put in there, but then I did. We got striders. I put an iron golem, which I also wasn't planning on. Polar bears, Peter to the spider, a zoglin. Unfortunately, I had like 4 of them, but they all got killed by iron golems. Pandas, bunnies, sheep. It's a Jeb sheep, by the way, so he changes colors. Bees, 1 ocelot, 2 camels, 3 llamas. We got some cats. One of them is a black cat from a witch's hut, by the way. We got some frogs, we got some cows, we got some wolves, a white one and a brown one, and some allays. So not every single mob, but just about. There we had the Clash Royale arena in front of our Tower of Babel. Absolutely insane build. There is a lightning rod on the top of the tower, by the way. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I know this was super rushed, but I feel like doing more in one video is a lot more exciting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, by all means, please subscribe. It helps me out so much just getting my content out there. I want this channel to exceed. So with all that said, hope you all have a great day. I'm going to go finish celebrating my birthday. And with that, I am out.